All right, guys, before we get going here, I just want to say save us some pizza. We're all very hungry, too.
There's so much pizza.
There's a lot of pizza. I think we'll be okay. I just want to remind you guys, it is really hard to be funny. It's hard to write something to be funny, so go easy on these guys, all right?
Laugh generously.
Laugh generously, please.
Give us a pizza.
And without further ado,
Especially Mark. Throw me a bone.
the oldest man in Smash, 91 years old. Here's Pink Bombo.
How do I angle this?
Twist the thing, and then tilt it.
He really is old.
Damn, he really is old.
I'm actually just really tall. Thank you, Zach, for the intro. That was short and to the point. I feel like Luke Duke could take some pointers from you on how to wrap it up.
What the fuck?
It's good to see everyone here tonight. I don't have too much to say. I'll keep it short and sweet, like the Regina people up here with me. I'm not the greatest at public speaking, but I'll do my best. And I'm also not used to being insulting or being mean to my friends, right, Bryce? Now, we're all here for Paul, but before we get to him, we have this lovely group of roasters tonight. Bared their souls to also get roasted. And I'm going to start off with Carson. Now, I'm not really sure why Carson's up here with us today. I think he heard the word roast and thought, like chicken? Yeah, I could drum something up. Thanks.
What the fuck?
But no, on a serious note, Carson's a really good cook. He cooks his chicken at 425 Fahrenheit, and he cooks Spaceys on unranked at 600 APM. Carson, you play fucking Ganondorf. What buttons are you even pressing? I don't know how many of you know this, but Carson's actually been on one of the best and most long-running static doubles team of all time. No, not Team MSI, the other one. Well, no, not Carter Michael, the other one. You know, the brothers. Not Monkey, Bear, and Vash. You know, the other ones. I told myself before this roast that I wouldn't go hard in the paint on short jokes. So when I tell you that Carson is one of the most down-to-earth people I know, I'm not talking about its relative distance to the actual ground. I mean that. Mux, at 5'3", you're literally one of the most down-to-earth people I know. Mux, you look like AMAC, but if I dressed you. I don't know what's a harder execution test for you, a set with Lincoln or going to Jollibee. Yeah, it's hard for the old sheik to keep up with Lincoln's Fox. The only thing faster than Lincoln is Austin after some Pink Whitney. I know, I went there, I'm sorry. I made my bed, and I would lie in it, but I'm afraid Austin's already in it, occupied. And that was the third bed that night. But hey, put yourself in Austin's shoes, which should be pretty easy. He's probably still wearing tuxedos. Mux, your name is Rafael Roberto. Who named you? Fucking Stan Lee? Mux heard about the war in Ukraine and was like, yeah, I don't know, that sucks, I guess, but have you seen Beezy hold shield versus me? The ledge?
Yeah.
In other topical news, GamerZach's been keeping up with the Depp Heard trial. He's a bit of a freak, though. He heard about Amber pooping on the bed and said, wait, that's a bad thing? Zach is the commissioner of esports for the U of R, and basically Regina. And much like the commissioner of Gotham, Zach signals to the Batman whenever a slight issue of any form comes up. Zach, that's all I have for you. Fuck you. Moving on to better Zach, or at least that's what I used to think. And now we have the Slappy era upon us. Ninth in Manitoba, man? Really? Who are you? Me? R.L. Stein, author of Goosebumps, actually reached out to Zach and was like, hey, I know Slappy is supposed to be a dummy, but it's supposed to be a scary dummy.
Laugh generously. Laugh generously.
No, but Zach's a grinder. To get better at competing, he actually read The Inner Game of Tennis. For his sake, I can only hope the writers make a sequel, The Inner Game of Melee. Most of you know that Zach is a bartender. Part of being a bartender, you have to talk to customers and their troubles. There was one customer who came in. He was recently divorced and stressing about his alimony payments. Zach, thinking about his money matches with Carter, was like, hey, I get it, man. I also have to make monthly payments to a bitch.
Oh my god.
Now, Carter.
Whoa.
It's a little quiet in here. It's usually only this quiet when Carter wins. Really got us. Carter, your ego is so big that when Nurse sees you, he's like, whoa, relax, man. Carter is into the stock market, you know, crypto, investments, all that. He has so many stocks invested that I can't blame him if he loses a few stocks in Ultimate, especially if Pikachu is on the screen. Carter is #1 Melee now, but he had to quit Ultimate, you know. And I get it. At a certain point, he had to face that the game was too scary, and that he had to veto it altogether.
Oh, no. Too soon about face.
Now for my penultimate roast, we have Mike. I won't lie, I was struggling with coming up with anything. I roast the guy every day like it's my day job, but a moment of pen and paper are in my hand, I draw a blank. So I'll let my mom roast Mike for me. For Halloween, as some of you may know, me and Mike dressed as each other for Halloween. I sent a picture of Mike to my mom I sent a picture of Mike to my mom. He was like, oh, nice picture, son. I informed her it was not me, and she's like, oh, I was wondering why you gained weight. That was the only notable difference she made. Mike, you look like a humanoid Larry the Cucumber. Mike, the only thing that moves faster than your hairline is Austin.
Oh man.
Leave the guy alone.
I gotta take that joke out of mine. It's all gonna be hairline jokes.
I just gotta take a drink. I kid, but Mike has been up good lately. He's been with Julie for 2 years now. She's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that she still lets him attend tournaments. I imagine she wants to share the experience of finishing last.
Oh no! Come on!
Oh, not like that, guys. Not like that. All I'm saying, tournaments are the only time that Mike doesn't come first. And in case Mike's parents are watching, I am kidding, he is a virgin. Mike's been at this for a long time, and I believe he's made the scene what it is today. He made John run Melee and PM for him. He made me run Smash 4 for him. He made Ryan book the venue for him. Mike really made this scene. Mike's an interesting guy. He's been one of the most conscientious people I know about COVID. Yet, ironically, one of the grossest guys I know. If we're in the car and I have to hand feed him, over the years I've learned to throw the food in his mouth or he'll put his whole mouth over my hand. Now, I don't know how you guys are with your friends, but if you don't have to take a moment to think about how you're gonna dodge their mouth in any given scenario, I'm jealous of you guys. And now for the man of the hour, the reason why we're all here. Not just at this event, but here in general. There's a very strong chance that we're not here without Paul. And with that, I found it hard to find any shortcomings with him. But I'll ask, here we go. Paul, you look like a piano fill on an episode of Baywatch. You look like David Hasselhoff ate a mini mushroom.
Yup.
If you have the keys to Regina Smash, and you're giving them to fucking Gamers Act, what are you thinking? That's like if I was given the keys to a sports car and gave them to Scubs.
Hey, whoa.
That's like giving ownership of Overcast Land to Overcast.
That's right, that's right.
Haven't you watched any movies? The commissioner of esports is always the bad guy in the end. Paul, if you were any shorter, you'd be Symbol's reign of #1 Saskatchewan. No, but Paul's great with kids. Maybe it's because he sees eye to eye with them, but regardless, he's a TO for a children's party game, and he's a lifeguard. Yeah, he actually teams with Lincoln on Saturdays and then gives him his swimming lesson on Sundays. All jokes aside, Paul, you're awesome. I wish you the best in Winnipeg. We'll miss you a lot. Hopefully your Peach and Minecraft Steve ruins some Manitoba Jim's day on the regular. All right, thank you everyone.
Just give me a second, I need to lower this thing. Alright, that was great. A little long-winded. Austin Morgan, hang in there. There's a lot more collaboration. Alright. Next up, we actually got kind of our middleman between us and our great sponsors at TJ's Pizza. Give them a round of applause. You may know him as Lil Tripod. You kind of know him as the squarest head in SK Smash. Shops at biglids.com. It's Carson Waffle Junkie, everyone.
Damn. Greetings, salutations, hola, bonjour. Today I humbly stand before you to roast Paul, or as some of you may know him as, Quex, or as some of you may know him as, Ren, or as some of you may know him as, Bell. Or, as some of you may know him as, Camper. Or, you may know him as, Shitter. Paul has done so much for the Smash community over the last few years. He's hosted countless tournaments. He's DQ'd me after I messaged him I'd be 5 minutes late. And then proceeded to say, whoopsies, I forgot to check my DMs.
Move the mic back a little bit, by the way. Just a little. Yeah, thank you.
Shout out Smallest.
The smallest doll there, it's great.
Yeah.
Razor Wraith.
Razor Wraith?
Another thing Paul's done for us over the years is hosted out of region players, so the rest of us wouldn't have to smell them. For lending me his Team 10 hoodie for a whole year. Paul, I've always admired your ability to put your foot down. Paul's cat could be watching up at the sky doing a bunch of nothing. Paul would stop that motherfucker from gazing. and if he didn't, he would get the same treatment as the rest of us. Paul would plan to simply kill them. I keep losing my spot.
Let's go. It's okay.
Paul's the type of guy to help you out at your worst. Like when I want to play League of Legends.
Yeah.
Specifically co-op versus AI games. Who wants to play that by themselves? Who wants to ask someone else to boot that up with them? You don't have to with Paul. He's right there in the lobby, frame 1. Enough Paul dick riding for a moment. Let's talk about the real elephant in the room. Sus SK. Did
Get
you
his
know that the first time I met Zach was when I was 14? It was awesome. He camped me with DK while Rhett and Matthew rolled on the floor screaming the DK lyrics, or the DK rap lyrics. I didn't know at the time I'd be meeting a long-term friend that would share my interest of calling other people slurs over Discord. But it was a match made in heaven. And look at us today. Damn.
Gamer Zach kind of handsome.
For real. All right. It was a match made in heaven. And speaking of heaven, Jess, you old dirty bastard. You'll have to let us know what that's like. You know, I also met Jess when I was pretty young. You know, him and his friend Drayton always came to tournaments, and you know, they always looked like they were having a lot of fun. Until all at once, Drayton stopped coming to events. Jess kept coming. He was placing better. What has happened to poor Drayton? I have a theory. He airplaned him so much that he quit the game. Does anyone know why this is important? It was the beginning of Jess's villain arc and none of us had even noticed. He's been evil this whole time. And through not only his neutral, but his deception, he's lied to us. I see you, Jesse. I know what you are. Reese! My good friend Reese. Reese is a funny, easygoing, hardworking guy. However, I do not want to see a combo from you unless it's coming to me on a medium, or with a medium drink on a red tray. Symbol Zach. I remember when I first met you. I kind of expected you to talk like Mike Tyson. And I was right. Zach always has a different answer for people when they ask when he started playing. However, I know the truth. He can't fool me. I know for a fact he's been around long enough for the great cock ring snap of '83. And he could have teamed with Sean or Kat. I love the guy though. He's always down for a good time and loves to make new players feel like shit after playing his Donkey Kong. Muxedo, Raphael, the big man.
Yup.
Mux saw the one girl that came to our tournaments consistently, heard that she was asexual, and went up for the snap. Now, Mux, I gotta admit, you've either got the smallest brain, the biggest balls, or the coolest controller to pull a move like that. Mux has always been very kind. He taught me the March Cheek matchup for 20 minutes. Told me to down tilt more, and I'm 0-17 lifetime. Life's
Did
good.
you down tilt more?
Apparently not enough.
Not
Not enough. Yeah, I could go on about Muxedo. I love him. However, the only thing better than Muxedo is his brother. Are you serious? His brother is so fucking cool. He has a 100% win rate on our #1 player right now, Beezy. Does anyone else in this room have that? Shout out Lincoln.
Don't call face.
Anyway, he's awesome. May he rest in peace. Carter, BZF1, BZ, Anthracite, Grounded.
Yeah.
Carter was one of the only people I met in the Smash scene that was younger than myself. He was always a joy at tournaments, unless you played him. He was always bring a smile till he played. A great teammate till a PR player walks in the room.
Oh no.
But I watched Carter from humble beginnings. Sorry.
His nest?
Yeah. I watched Carter from humble beginnings of being a sore loser to where he has grown into what he is now. A shithead winner who wears better pants. But for real, Carter has been a great influence in the Smash scene and has made all of us aware of how fortunate we are to be able to go to trips without consequence. Thanks, Carter. Pink Bombo 91. I don't actually know that much about you, Dylan. So I thought it would be fit for me to just, ask you some questions while I'm up here. So, the first question would be, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Pink Bombo's favorite color is purple, ladies and gentlemen. I also really enjoy that color. Are you a top or a bottom? Top.
Just giving over all the top material.
What's your favorite food?
Lasagna. That's a lot.
I also really enjoy that food. When would you say your sexual awakening was? And why was it at Bcash Cosplay? Okay.
Do you know the real answer to that? It's a good story.
Okay. And now, the man, the myth, the legend. Spiky Mike.
Yeah.
Mike's an awesome dude. It was really hard coming up with things to roast him for, but there's one thing that you can't really overlook, if you will. He's always smiling. He's laughing about something absurd. However, I know deep behind that smile, he's fucking pissed. Look at him. That little light of pure anger lighting up the room. Pure rage. Anyway, Mike's been a great TO. Ever since the famous incident. But that's all in the past now.
Which one?
Which one?
The famous one. The incident.
I genuinely.
I remember at my first Smash Katoon, Mike and Tony were the scariest guys in the room. They had HT jerseys. Who the fuck is HT? I was terrified until we sat down and plugged in and played. Well, thanks, Mike, for getting my hopes up of thinking that 14-year-old me could get sponsored after beating you. Come to find out it was PM Groupie merch. All right.
I shouldn't drink.
I kind of did my Paul stuff early, so I have a little bit of a serious Paul thing. So bear with me.
Bear with me.
Bear with me, baby. But in all seriousness, I want to say some words about Paul. I hope that everyone in this room can try to understand the amount of work Paul has put in for our lazy asses over the last few years. He's given us many of us the opportunity to come together and show off all the hard work we put in, come to hang out with friends for 10 hours, making lifelong memories out at his cabin. These are just some of the things that Paul has given me, and I can safely say that I'm not the only one. Paul, I wish you the best in Manitoba, and I will miss you dearly.
that distract you from the fact that after our first set, he didn't fist bump me. Carson did not fist bump me. Carson did not. Don't let his humor distract you. He didn't fist bump me.
Hey.
It's too late, bro.
All right. For this next one, Reese, Ada, Lincoln, Overcast. I'm gonna need all the minors to exit the building because our next guest is Symbol. Give my hand.
So I just want to start off and thank Carson's parents for bringing some pizza for everyone. You know, it's nice to have someone in the family do something fucking useful for once. But to be honest, Carson has done a lot of things for us. He's brought a lot of his friends to the Smash Scene in Regina and has helped us grow. But I think it's a little bit unfair that we label his group TSN as the, Regina BL. You guys don't even release any of your racist videos. And while writing this roast, I thought back to the early days, and you brought him up earlier too. And I remember going to my first tournament. We were in the old apartment, and I thought, wow, Brendan's little brother is really fucking annoying. Anyways, my other half, my other Zach, he's here with us tonight. And I just want to say, he's a lot more athletic than he looks thanks to his career in football. In fact, he's built like a football.
Come on! Come on!
Like seriously, dude. You're a fucking short Dr. Robotnik. But I do want to say it was nice of you to change your tag to Gamers Act. It's Gamer is something you are, and Zach, and that's not something really I am. But if you wanted to make it more accurate, you should have said gay, stupid, ugly Zach.
Leave him alone.
Did the miners leave yet? Sorry. Sorry, guys. Dylan, I think I saw you last night, actually. I don't know if you came into Regina last night, but I was out with my friends, and I saw your picture come up on her phone for about half a second before she swiped left. And to be honest, I love you, man. You were the hardest one for me to roast. Luckily for me, when I go through your diary on Overcast Land, if I stop anywhere, you're acting like a fucking idiot. And it's a shame people act like you're an evil TO. I know lots of people say that. Just because you look and act like the Joker doesn't mean you can't run a good bracket. But that one was for me. And I will say, Dylan, you got hit hard physically by COVID. Like a lot of people, maybe made some bad appearance choices. But I think you're on the up and up now because the worst you ever looked was at that Halloween Smashkatoon. Oh wait, that was Mike. And I know you said Mike never won a bracket before, and you may be right, but he did get second place at a 2-person entrant hoop before. I thought Tony might be here, so I was going to give him a shout out, but that tournament win was free. We have the King of Regina Smash in here tonight, Carter. I also call him my arch nemesis, and I will say, Carter was so young when he started playing. I used to think, this kid he's going to go places. In fact, he was so young when he started playing, he came out of the womb holding a GameCube controller. And when his mom saw him, she said, "You're going to be the most disappointing brother." But what we can't take away from Carter is his unique sense of style. You dress great, like an e-girl trying to get into a frat house. A car ride in Carter's car is hell on earth, let me tell you guys. Every song this man likes was written for 14-year-old girls and is called something along the lines of horny, mess, girl boss, sad sack of shit. And let's just say he really identifies with the artist. He did tell me earlier, he might bring his girlfriend along, but looking into the crowd, I think she must have despawned. He says that all the time. And, you know, one of my longest time friends in the Smash Team is here, Mux. And could you come up here for a second? Woo! Don't worry, he's here for 1 second. I will say a lot of things have changed since he's got a girlfriend, but I can still make him come with one finger. One of my favorite things to do is get ribs at BP's after with Mux. Except if we both put our dick on the table, he'd be the half rack.
Come on.
And people tend to think I hate box style controllers, but I really don't. Because if Mux didn't have that smash box, after winners finals later, I'd be getting beaten up. Luckily, he's got that thing to take his anger out on. And speaking of anger, he practices boxing all the time. He's starting to look like, you know, a young Manny Pacquiao. And yes, that is a warning, Lauren. For those of you that know that joke, thank you. Anyways, you know, I left one of my best friends here for last. Paul, I really love everything and respect everything you do in the Smash Team. And I really do respect you, mostly out of fear. Kind of like someone living in Nazi Germany and you're Hitler. Paul once told me in a car ride, he loves water polo because you can just pee in the pool whenever you want. In fact, everyone pees in the pool. Paul, if you wanted to get pissed on that so much, you could have just asked me. And that's a standing offer. When Paul has 2 beers at a party, he's a lot like my ex-girlfriend on her pain meds. And that's because they're passed out by 9 and I take selfies of myself teabagging their face. If anyone wants to see those photos later of him, I have them. But to be honest, I am really going to miss Paul, mainly because one of my new favorite pastimes has been breaking into his apartment. If you don't know, we live in the same building and we leave our doors open. So usually I like to go on his computer. And holy fucking shit, the stuff I find on there. He has a folder called Cancelled. And on it,
Oh no!
and inside is a lot of documents detailing how to cancel anyone in the scene. Paul's legit Batman, writing like a memoir on how to kill everyone in the Justice League. Except it's just screenshots of Gamersack saying the N-word.
That's the old man reform. I did warn you guys. I warned you, Kaylin. I told you minors, leave the building because... Anyways, next up, the most expensive looking person on the couch here. Always wearing the fanciest outfits. Took a break from down tilting. He's very upset that I had to hold a bracket for this. Wow. None other is Carter Beasy. Give him a hand.
Okay. So I really thought that I was gonna be after bracket today, but Zach pulled it in, like, you know, in the middle of bracket, and I actually lost earlier, so I'm gonna make this short. I'm a little pissed. I really should start with Zach, because I want to fucking kill him, but whatever. You know, I'm a little nervous coming up here, and, like, writing this was a little bit, it was a little much. And I was really happy that Dylan volunteered to go first. That's probably that's like the first time he's got first place, like, in, 4 years, I think. I don't think, like, he's loved second place, but no, I'm happy he went first for once. That's awesome. No, Dylan's awesome. Like, he was actually one of my first big Smash 4 Saskatoon wins. It's pretty, it's awesome. No, Dylan kind of sparked that in me to get a little better. It was at a Moose Shot tournament. I remember I actually won that tournament, my first event win ever. I remember pulling 520s out. I showed lots. I'm like, look, man, I won this money. He said, that's rude. Don't do that. That's I was a 13-year-old kid. I'm like, oh my god, I got gas money. And Paul won't kill me. And I showed him this money. I don't know if it's because he's a PM player. He's like never seen that money before. this, man? 20 bucks for getting top 3 in both events today. The scene's really grown. Thanks, Paul. Now I'm making big money. Oh, I'm gonna find my spot. But yeah, Dylan, without those early wins on you, I don't know if I'd be like this motivated to get better. You could probably say the same thing about like Vito, though. I think he beat you pretty recently. King Sucky also. Squid Ninja in Manitoba? Really?
Oh,
Why do you got one? Well, yeah, I don't even know this guy. Like, you just hand them out. It's nice. It's appreciated. You grow the scene by being the perfect top player. You stay top 5 somehow, but you will literally lose winners round 2 to Gary Too Scary, the second tournament, just so he comes back. It's awesome. Like, you're just so good at growing the scene. It's sweet.
Everybody gets one.
He's the king of everybody gets one. But yeah, Dylan, honestly, I appreciate you teaming with me when we did. It was super cool with the top player team with me, even if I was a bit of a handful of times. So I appreciate you for all that. And speaking of handfuls, if you take a couple handfuls of Chadness and throw it at Dylan, you get my Melee Static spiky mic. Mike kind of is like Dylan if Dylan was successful and could find love.
Yep.
Michael's famous for having his Spacey Jam video ripped by Summit, and him not doing anything about it because, ooh, I have a girlfriend now. Ooh, I love Julie and I love League of Legends. I don't care about content anymore. Ooh, I fucking miss you, man. Come back.
That last one.
The YouTube channel's so dry. I miss it. But no, Mike's my Static Melee partner. You might not believe it because of our performance today, but I swear we've been teaming for like 5 years.
Really?
Give or take, but I remember when we first started teaming, he was like a little better than me. I'm like, oh, awesome, I got a player I can like row with and like learn a bit from. And then he kind of stayed the same, and we got to like our first Arcadian where I was PR'd with, and I'm like, oh, I get to team with Michael. Oh, it's gonna be a shame next time when he's PR'd and we can't team anymore. And 5 years later, if the Arcadian happened again, I have my teammate. But thank you, Michael, for everything. It's always cool to be able to team with you. And I'm able to rest easy knowing that maybe even if we got second for like the 20th time in a row to MSI, or third today, I fucking corrected myself. I got third today to Paul, double eliminated by Paul. And Lincoln. I know that you're always by my side. Usually by drawing me on the PR graphics, but you're still by my side, so it's awesome. So I thank you for that. I really just want to say I'm thankful to be up here. It's super cool being up here with 5 staples of the community and Carson. It's just to be able to share this day. You know, I used to team with Carson in Melee a lot too, actually. I kind of team with every single one of you guys, well, except Gamer Zach, of course, but all of you guys at one point. Wow, it seems kind of small. It's interesting. But no, I love Carson, man. I remember at my first QC, sitting down at a setup with him and Brendan up there, and they're like, yeah, come play. Like, it was so sweet just to be able to sit down and play. It was a little weird when, like, there's both of them on red team, and I'm by myself on blue team, and, like, they're just kind of tagging me, but, like, the gesture was there. That's super nice.
What's weird?
But no, Carson is evidence that early Regina Melee really left a mark on the scene. He's stuck being a mid-level player and smokes a lot of weed. I mean, if that wasn't John Sorensen's goal, what was? I really don't know what to say about you, LB Sucksy, or Carson, sorry. Thanks for that. It's sweet to see you. You know, keeping on theme with old school Regina Melee, let's give it up for Zuz SK for hosting. That's not as easy as it looks. It really is. I just want to say that. So, you know, Zach claims to be a big sports guy, okay? He loves his DERs, likes to run intramurals at the U of R. But he looks like a football, as stated before. I've never once heard him compare Paul to Wayne Gretzky, 2 goats of the scene. Not once. I don't understand. Like, if he's even watched sports ever, I don't get it. Zach's awesome because he's that guy that complains about having no wife, but coincidentally he's only spoken to Lauren and fucking Ash on the Champ Select screen of League of Legends.
Oh no!
Your wife, she's not there. She's not on the Champ Select, I promise.
Lux, actually.
Lux, my bad. I'm a fucking loser. Not everyone can be a league addict and have a wife like Mike does. Like, it's a 1 in a billion, man. It's really not that easy. But, like, honestly, Zach, I really appreciate all you do for the scene and being so inclusive and such a big support. Speaking of inclusion, Moxito's here. I remember last time one of these times we were at Triff's, this random Filipino guy comes up to our table and he goes up to Mux, he's like, "You speak Tagalog?" He's like, and he starts saying these things and he's like, "You're Filipino, right?" And oh, he crumbled. Mux just crumbled, man. He just doesn't know it. That's fair enough.
The jig is up.
Like, watch this. Matutong basigin diyan. Do you know what I said? Do you know what I said? He wouldn't even know if I said it in English. I said, learn to smash the eye, man. It's 2 buttons. It's 2 buttons for you. It's really not that hard. Woo! You know, speaking of Mux pushing buttons, Lauren's in the crowd. Hi, Lauren. It's so weird to see you here. You've never shown up to one of Muxito's sets.
Ouch!
During PM Grants and Paul Cap, Mux turned to me, I'm sure you all have heard this, he turned to me and said, "Dude, stop, my girlfriend's literally right there." And then Lauren decided left. She just like, she was like, "Oh, if I'm in a distraction, I'm gonna leave." And then Ralph lost. Interesting. Mux likes to do this thing at Trifons where he stares at the menu for like 30 minutes like, "Do I get the burger or..." And then proceeds to order the same fucking Chipotle cheddar burger 20 weeks in a row. It's astonishing his love for that burger. It kind of reminds me of his gameplay, honestly. He gets grabbed, he looks long and hard at the screen, he's like, "Do I DI in again?" And then he sees a DI in 20 times in a row and died a tipper. Just to complain about Marth and VC the following day. You play the one matchup that people think is winning against Marth. You didn't lose the character select screen, bro. You lost the fundamental select screen. I will always think so highly of Raph. We started at the same time. I gotta respect him. Even if you're at No Fun, he's carried by Sheik and May Guilty Gear. Am I right, guys? Hey, speaking of No Funnies and Guilty Gear, Simple's here! Hey! Zach, where do I start? Where to begin? Zach, you look like an alcoholic failed hockey player that has 6,000 hours in Dota 2. Wait, that is... Zach, I know you wanted Amy to fuck you, but I didn't think it was going to happen in bracket like that. Sorry, Corey, it's not accurate. But actually, Zach has been so important to our scene. Like, he would net play with anyone and everyone all the time back in the day. It was so cool. You had to play with a dark green name. That's awesome. You know, looking back on it now, I realized it was actually just to farm clips for his combo videos. But that's probably the smartest thing he's done in like 5 years, so I gotta respect him for that. You know, Zach is often regarded, as he should be, as the Mango of our scene. He plays Spaceys, he's everyone's favorite player, he's regarded as the GOAT, and whenever we travel, he gets knifed. It's fantastic. It's just really cool to see him embody the alcoholic, fallen off gambler we know and love.
Mango, 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 mango.
I truly love spending time with Zach and money matching him. And you know what? He's actually up $190 on me. Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't look like it when we play, but no, he's up $190. Mainly from Mario Party, but whatever. Which I think is more money than the last 8 tournaments I've won combined. So once again, thank you to Paul for joining the scene. You know, I think Zach's onto something with his whole retirement thing. Like, he's just raking in money without even having to compete. It's awesome. You're welcome. Zach, I love you, and I'm sorry about spitting my McChicken onto you when we were really high in Winnipeg with Davis and Paul. I hope that sure wasn't stained, but that shit was funny. Okay, I know I just talked a lot about a horny alcoholic gambler, but now we've got another one, and the man of the hour. Paul is here.
Get that guy a wife!
Now, Paul loves his sports. He used to play water polo. That's actually kind of how I know him. My family, you know, through him. Dunk was his friend, all that. And he kind of reminds you of someone in the sports scene. You know, I'm a big sports guy. He kind of reminds you of Wayne Gretzky, you know? He's the GOAT. He's done so much for the game. He's old. Like, what's more to ask? I'm not going to lie, Paul. You become super fucking handsome, man. I'm not gonna lie, 2018 Paul was ugly. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
God, that was crazy. Like, back then I would look at him and know, yeah, this guy's in the math club of the university. But now I look at him and I'm like, yeah, this guy fucks. But you know what? I'm wrong. You guys ever seen 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell? Paul's grown the scene so much, actually, legitimately. We probably wouldn't be here without him. And we're all very indebted to him for all that. Like, I wouldn't be really in the scene much if Paul wasn't there to drive me all the time, invite me to Levo Smash Fests. So yeah, it was awesome. You can thank Paul for who I am today. You're now your greatest number one, you know? Thanks, Paul. It's not me, it's Paul. I could have been a Chad baseball player who got laid all the time in high school, but instead I follow in Paul's footsteps of being a virgin.
Fucking go!
Good luck in Winnipeg. Please find a wife before you visit again. I can't stand you when you're single.
Oh
Thanks
no!
so much for all you've done, and I'll do my best to carry the momentum. We'll all do our best and build the scene more and more. God, it's so funny you lost to Dan in Winnipeg. I still love you, Paul. Thank you so much.
Good shit, good shit. Carter actually touched on this a little bit. If you look at our couch here, you'll see a lot of straight white guys. So I said, you know, we need some more diversity. We need some LGBT representation. So we got everyone's favorite ledge grab back thrower, Muxedo, up next.
I didn't think everybody was going to be that prepared, actually. I kind of focused on winning this weekend, so, you know. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens after the bracket. And yeah, they kind of like brought me up here. They were like, oh, we got too many white guys, you know. And they were like, well, AMAC was apparently busy, but now he showed up. What the hell is that? He kind of showed up here. And yeah, thanks to Carson's parents bringing up TJ's Pizza.
Yeah.
Sponsored by TJ's Pizza and sponsored by Cash App, by the way. Let's see here. Yeah, Michael. Okay, I actually had a hard time writing about Michael. I don't know. Like, yeah, he's like, you know, everybody's like, oh, Muxedo's the #1 fastest sheik, but he's the #1 fastest sheik to get out of bracket. They call me the #1, you know, sheik cheater, but you know, he's actually #1. I'm just kidding, Michael. I'm just kidding. But congratulations on the engagement, by the way. And yeah, you know, Mike stands for maybe I'll kill everybody. So he killed the melee Saskatoon Smash. You know, he's actually pretty helpful. Like, you know, he's like Saskatoon's graphic artist, you know, streamer, TO. So he's like President's Choice version of Paul.
That's true. No cap.
Oh yeah, Dylan's here. Yeah. Okay, I actually really had a hard time writing about Dylan. It's like I always like meme on him like all the time in like VCs and stuff like that. But like when I write about it, I don't know, I had just a hard time. He didn't really dress up today because he's got the proportions of Lanky Kong. hard to find an outfit. And he's always like, oh, Regina's so dog shit at like doubles and stuff like that. And he's like, but you always see him in like text chat. He's like, oh, Scubs, you want a team? Kroga, you want a team? Easy, you want a team? It's like, oh my god.
Tell him.
And he's like so caring. Like I actually, no side note. I took ultimate doubles roulette off of him. Like how caring is that guy? I was actually serious. I didn't have like that much on it. Gamers Zach. I actually had a hard time reading it. But like I don't know, he went from like Suz SK to like Gamers Zach. I kind of was like, oh, that's such a stupid tag, honestly. Like Gamer Zach, yeah, like that's like half of the room pretty much. But it's pretty funny, like watching him in like VCs like play other like fighting games. For example, like week 1 Guilty Gear, you run into Gamer Zach, you're like, oh, my Axel Low can beat Gamer Zach's Amelia. But then you get 2-0 by him, it's like, shit, what do you do? And the suicide rate went up after that week.
Oh my god.
After week 1.
After week 1 Guilty Gear. And he's kind of like the most like confusing like creative character. He's like, you know, I'm a football player, you know, I'm into sports, but then on the side he like joins VC, pretends he's a cat girl, plays League of Legends all day with his kitty headphones. I'm like, what are you doing, man? This is not what we. That's not what the archetype is, bro. Let's see here, Carter.
Uh-oh.
I actually had no difficulty. They're like, we're gonna have like this Rose thing, and I was like, oh, and Carter's gonna be on the panel. I was like, oh shit, I got like a whole page on him already. Yeah, and then he would be like, you know, he picked up Marth, and he's like, oh yeah, all my combos are so sick. He'll clip like Sleeper, and he'll be like, oh, that's going on my next combo video. Well, I made like a neutral combo video for him, so, you know, all those dashbacks to the corner. It doesn't really look impressive. I don't think Magi is going to be into that. Maybe oh. Yeah, and then after the like recent J-Moog success, he's like all into this like posture stuff. But it kind of looks like he has got like a Wiimote up his ass. And he's carried! You guys don't understand how hard it is! Like Morse after it just comes out and it's just like, oh, I get tippered every time. And then, you know, like every weekly, he'll start off the weekly, he's like, yeah, I've been talking to this girl, you know, like every single weekly. And then like by the end of the weekly, he's like, oh, it didn't work out. And I was like, oh. So after the third time, well, let me look at the DMs, like, you know, like what's going on here? It's like, oh yeah. I play Marth. I love Marth. Combo and Fox. And it's just like, dude, nobody fucking cares. Literally no girl cares about Smash, like, and all the stuff, man. And that's what, and by the way, like, I think we're going wrong with, like, Lincoln as well. Like, he's gonna go on his first date and he's gonna be like, yeah, are you into, like, Fox Marth? It's gonna be the same thing! It's gonna be the same thing!
Get his ass!
We ruined Lincoln's life! What did we do? And Gary Too Scary's in the crowd.
Are you serious?
Hey Gary, I called Warner Bros. I told them to ban your Steam account so you wouldn't ruin multiverses. I don't think Wonder Woman needs camping, you know? I don't think she Alright, I got Symbolo. We got Symbolo in the dais here. I actually had a hard time writing it. I don't know, it was like the first time I met him, you know, he had like a no tooth, he had like a hockey jersey. I'm like, oh, this guy's probably here for like, you know, like the after Smash, like talking to like Smash moms or something like that. He's probably not here for bracket, you know.
Hell
and
yeah.
all of a sudden, like his Falco's whooping my ass, and I'm like, why is this hockey player so nasty? But later I found out he was like top 3 in like the alcoholic Regina Melee. And yeah, like he used to be like #1 and stuff, and it's kind of sad, like he like dropped off. You know, that used to be my goat, you know. And then it's like, you know, he's like, you know, I don't care about Melee anymore. I want to play Guilty Gear. You're not even #1 in that game, though. You're losing to like Gold Lewis. In, like, 2 minutes. And I'm like, hey, he's like, you probably like won grands, right? And he's like, no, I just fucking lost to the guy who's has his controller upside down and Smash. Alright, and then I got Paul. Yeah, I really had a hard time writing. I'm just gonna go with like some like one-liners. You know, big confession. I stole the original Lightning McQueen.
No, you didn't.
I needed the money. I needed the money.
Are we just gonna pretend like he didn't say that?
I needed the money. What are you gonna do?
Is that real?
Is that for real?
And then yeah, like I met like Paul like years ago. I don't know, he was kind of like pretty confusing. He was like, oh, I'm just like I love memes and stuff like that. He plays like the biggest like degenerate characters like Rosalita. He looked like Scott the Woz if he did the gender swap app, you know. He smelled like Cole Oregon all the time as well too. But you know, look at him now. You know, big glow up, right? Not really. He just turned into an alcoholic. Yeah, and then calls himself the Mars Slayer, but yeah, he did lose to 2665.
No!
I don't know, man. But yeah, like he's a pretty nice guy. Like he like invites us like Smash Fests and stuff like that. It's a pretty good time. He moved recently to like an apartment. So he gave me the address one day. He's like, I got this new Smash Fest, you know, at my place here. And I was like, okay, cool. So he gives me the address. 2830 Quan Street. So I'm wondering, oh, okay, interesting. So I just plug it into Google Maps, mindlessly driving, and I get there. It's like a parking lot, it's a restaurant. I call Paul, I'm like, what is this? And he goes, oh no, I told you to get some Jollibees for me. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I can't even go in there. Yeah, like, you know, Smash Fest and everything. Like, he's actually like a really good TO. I'm gonna like miss all of his like, you know, just like organization and stuff like that. He's so good at TOing that he TO'd a tournament that he's not even a TO part or part of a TO. That was TSS, by the way, you know.
And he
He's so
deserves it.
good. He TOs other people's tournaments. And probably has Halo, probably.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm gonna miss Paul, you know. We played so much like melee doubles and so many trips as well too, you know. All to like Winnipeg. A funny side story actually. It's not even really part of it. I was sleeping at 2665's house. Paul woke up earlier than me, and then he like saw my controller. He pressed one button, and it instantly woke me up. It was insane. But you know, I'm gonna miss like moments like that actually. So appreciate all of you done, Paul, and I hope you're successful in Winnipeg.
Awesome. All right, guys. I see some of you have been recording this, taking pictures. I'm actually going to have to ask you to delete this all because Mike's wife thinks he's on a business trip. Julie can't know that he was here. Please delete all your social media. Spiky Mike, everyone.
I gotta raise this because I'm the only other tall guy here.
Nice computer.
Thank you. That's what I make the PRs on. All right, thank you, gamers. I'd like to preface my roast by saying this was very tough for me. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, I think of myself as a pretty funny guy, pretty wacky guy, but my humor is very reaction-based. You could say I joke based on feel. So much like my Smash game, I didn't lab one bit. I'm just kind of winging it. Going last is a lot of pressure for me. I'm going to be like the sixth guy in a row to do a Muxedo Tagalog execution test joke. I also found it hard to be mean, you know. My whole brand is being a chill, agreeable guy. Now I have to make fun of my stupid friends and their stupid faces. Speaking of stupid.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to go stupid on these roasts. They say in comedy it's important to punch up. You don't want to shit on people that are lower status of you. So it's a good thing I've always been dog shit at Smash, so I can talk major shit about everybody up here and catch no flack. So let's get started with our gracious host, Mr. Jerkovitskianis. It's kind of crazy that I've known Zach the least amount of time than everyone else up here, and yet I've kissed him way more. Like infinitely more. A lot of my roasts go for cheap shots about people's appearances, but you look exactly like Tony, and he's not here to defend himself, so I have to attack your mind. When I first heard that Paul was bequeathing the Smash scene to you, I said, damn, are you sure Luke Duke isn't too busy? It's not that I don't believe in you, Zach. I just have never seen you give a shit about anything. It's lovable in a way. I didn't even know that you were trying to get into education until like a month ago. You just had that first year that's gonna drop out after the first term kind of energy for like 3 straight years. But for real, if Paul has faith in you, so do I. Plus, Paul's gone anyway, so you can't write a manifesto if you're dog shit at TOing.
Get him!
I just want to point something out up here. I don't think there's any coincidence that the only 2 dudes up here with significant others are the Sheik mains.
Whoa.
The character's so easy to play, we can spend the time we'd normally spend grinding. Plus, Mux has enough execution tests in his daily life as it is. Mux is such a Chad though. He managed to pull the only girl in the Smash scene. I know a guy from Student that tried to do that, but now we just don't have any girls at all. I guess you could say they didn't respect their elders. I often wonder if when Mux took that picture with Sean Astin at the Fan Expo, if he knew the impact that would have on all of us. Do you feel like you peaked that day? Looking at your results lately, I'd say you've definitely peaked at some point. I hope you don't take this too hard, though. I wouldn't want to make the same list that Magic Killy's on.
Oh no!
It's okay, we'll always have Zets.
Oh.
For real though, I think Mux and I are kindred spirits. We were both blessed by these sweet blonde boys from heaven to carry our asses in dubs. And that brings me to my next victim, the other half of Hiccup and Toothless. Zach, you'll always be my goat. I don't care what anyone else says. I personally don't think you fell off. If you and Jess Star were at the same tournament, you would fuck them. I mean, the set would go either way, but you'd fuck.
That's what was not happening. Why is it me?
Zach is like the devil on my shoulder when it comes to gambling. If I ever think of a stupid side bet, you've already shaken my hand before the word comes out of my mouth. Another thing about Zach is he's far and away the sweatiest gamer up here. He can't turn it off. You'll just be eating like after a tournament and he'll be staring right at you, mouth agape, and he'll be like, you only chewed 14 times after swallowing. That's a good mix-up. Zach, you're good to have around though, because I know no matter how bad my hairline gets, I can always count on you to help me remember it could always be worse. Carter, buddy, I didn't want to roast you. You're my static. Plus, you were like 11 when we first met, so part of me feels like this isn't appropriate. But it's been genuinely sick to see you become #1 after all these years. It must suck to see Lincoln do exactly what you did, but within like a quarter of the time. At least now you know how it feels to lose to some random kid. I appreciate that you still decide to team with me, even though you're hot shit now. Every time I reg on Smash GG, I'm scared you'll replace me with someone that you can't hit with cheese dares when they've clearly got ledge.
It happened to me.
Carter, I don't want you to ever lose the confidence you have. Keep being 100% you. And know that if an old boomer lady disses you because of your nail polish, it's not because a guy like you shouldn't be wearing nail polish, it's because it looks so fucking scuffed. Carson to be difficult to write roast for. If you recall what I said about punching up, Carson's the only dude up here I can beat in bracket. That's rough for you. But for real, Carson's such a chill dude. I'm just not as close with him, so I can't like go for the jugular. I don't know what makes him tick. Sometimes I wonder though if your personality is some kind of trauma response to being exposed to float to the top. I think you got a permanent contact high from the shit that went down there. Part of the problem is that you looked like a 45-year-old woman when you were 15. So nobody there knew that what they were doing was inappropriate. As you've gotten older though, things have balanced out. You've grown up before our very eyes. Now you look exactly what people think of when they hear vaping Ganon made. And now it's time for the biggest Weezer fan up here. That's actually how he got his tag, Pinkerton91. So Dylan has this cute little gimmick where he likes to imprint on people like Jacob from Twilight. He spotted AMAC from across the room and knew that he had to have him. But like as a friend. Unfortunately, I was a victim of that too. He wasn't getting anywhere with a certain crush whose name starts with an E. So he said, fuck it, Spiky Mike. I once thought mine and Dylan's specific brands of autism really resonated with one another. But in reality, I just recite community quotes and he laughs like a baby laughing at jiggling keys. Dylan once told me that the thing he hates most in the world is having the same conversation twice. This is the same guy that comes into my car, plays Pumpkin Hill from Sonic Adventure 2, and says, I ain't gonna let it get to me, I'm just gonna pre. And then he laughs like it's the funniest thing he's ever done. I could go on and on about Dylan, but I'm gonna cut this one short, because unlike every pair of shorts that he has, I actually have too much material. And now for the man of the hour. The only other person up here that I can beat in bracket. Much like everybody here, Paul and I go way back, but it's insane how much this dude glowed up. When I first met you, you looked like the Naruto English voice actor that got hit with the Boss Baby Ray. But as soon as Mally Flanagan over here started saying things like, premarital sex is a sin, and other catchphrase, I knew I would fuck with him. Or not fuck with him, it's a sin.
Damn straight.
If you met Paul today, there's no way you would know he's into Smash. I mean, he's handsome, smart, got a job lined up, he swims, and yet still no bitches. I wasn't sure about whether to keep that no bitches line in. I don't know how many beers you've had tonight, Paul. So depending on how drunk he is, no bitches could be a roast, or no bitches could be an objective fact about his sexuality. I've always seen Paul as this super weird dude. To this day, I have no idea what's going on in his head, but that's like kind of the appeal about him. He's like a crackhead that's real consistent about uploading VODs. He's like the Joker, but instead of crime and chaos, he pulls up the spreadsheet news on your TV at 6 a.m. That's a real story. He had the spreadsheet news on, he had Amaranth stream, he was doing a puzzle, it was beautiful. Since I'm the last guy to go, I want to get real for a second. Just want to say how much I appreciate everything you've done for the scene as a whole. I know as a student guy, I don't see as much as the Regina guys would, but your impact is felt. I hope you know everybody in this venue appreciates and respects the hell out of you. So before you come up and roast us all one last time, just want to give it up for the GOAT.
That was awesome. Thanks to that kissing reveal. I won't be showing this video to my parents, but that's all right. Lastly, the reason we're all here, we'll never forget him because his God complex won't let us. It's Paul himself, everyone. Yeah!
guys. Thank you to everyone who came out today to come to this tournament. And thank you, Zach, for putting in so much work to set up this whole tournament. Just a ton of work from you and Lauren and Raph and Carter and Ben and Saskatoon and me. And Luke the nurse, who works like 50-hour weeks and takes care of his family. But no, man, seriously, really good work from you. I know you're a Beatles fan. Just remember it's a little help from your friends. Not my friends do all the fucking work.
It's called delegating.
Yeah. But seriously, thank you for putting on an event whenever I can. It's very much appreciated. And I'm gonna start off with Carter, my team beer duo, until he decided that I was not good enough and teamed with Mike, who was, so great. Great roast, man. It's really been great seeing you over the years come into who you are as a person, and recently as a top gamer with Marth. And we all know every Marth main wants to be Zane, but Carter truly took it to the next level when, true story, in Winnipeg, we were at an Airbnb. We watched a Zane video on the screen while playing Melee. And after the video was done, Carter, for 30 minutes straight, just repeated every joke that Zane made in the video, word for word. And he did an impression of Zane doing an impression of HBox.
He showed me that video too.
But Zane is clearly not Carter's only Marth inspiration. You stole Never Beating Star from Juice. Good job, man. You've been killing it with that one lately. On the flip side, you stole beating Zach's ass every week and never losing to him from Fendrick Lamar. You even took a little bit from the old God Marths in there too. You stole having a fake sponsor that takes money from you instead of paying you for Mewtwo King. Good job.
RGF.
And then you stole your music taste from like a peak depression PPMD. I'm not done with the Marth mains. You stole talking about yourself like a god, but also Johnning every time you lose a fucking stock from the Crimson Blur. And honestly, it seems like your coaching's been really paying off because it seems like you've picked up a lot from Kadoran in the social skills and dressing department. But seriously, man, it's been great seeing you growing into the person you are now. From the little kid I played doubles with out of pity to the best player in the province. I know you'll keep growing. Maybe one day you'll even hit that glorious 6 feet tall. I've never heard anyone brag about being 5'11" so much. But I can't wait to see it all, and thank you for being here. Next up, we've got the other Carson. And I gotta thank him, as everyone has, for the TJ's Pizza hookup. Seriously, guys, this guy is so generous. Last time I went to his house, I actually left with my arms full of just stuff he was just wanting to give me to take home. He gave me his parents' beer. He gave me his uncle's pizza. He gave me Brendan's amiibos. He let us play with his parents' Switch and sit in their hot... I'm starting to think that maybe he is not the generous one. No, but seriously, Carson, I love you, man. It's always a pleasure to have you around when you finally decide to come out of your cave once a year. Twice as often as your brother, though. That's good. Yeah. Carson's really great because it's just so easy to make small talk with this guy. Every time I talk to him, he's got something to talk about. Almost always a new job that he's lined up for this week. It's sort of like talking to a 5-year-old. Oh, Carson, what do you want to be this week? Oh, an astronaut now. Oh, no, sorry, a chef? Ooh. Let me get the easy bake. No, but seriously, man, it's hard for me to say anything bad about him. I love the guy so much. He's straight up the kindest, nicest human being I know, so thank you for coming. Thank you for your roast. And thank you to Zach L. Symbol for the roast. It's great to see you here. I'm glad we could have this whole thing at the Vic Club because without the bar, don't know if we would have saw him. I actually had like a paragraph of alcoholism jokes, and I deleted them all because I was like, nah, everyone else will go over them. I don't think they did it justice. You know, we often joke about like the Austin VR intervention. Notice how we never make like, oh, Zach, alcoholism and gambling intervention jokes. You know why? The real one's coming. Zach told me one time he thought that I was his biggest fan. He thought that I wanted to be like him. But I need to remind him and everybody else that he was the one that saw my apartment once and moved into the same building as me. I don't even think he's my fan. I think he's my stalker. Every time we run into each other in the hallway, I fear a little bit for my life. But I love you, Zach. And I'm sure everybody else here does too. Unlike, I went over to your place the other day, and his family was home. And I joined them for a dessert and a drink. They invited me in, and I sat down. And I am not kidding you. I spent half an hour sitting there at the roast of Zach. They did nothing but tell me stories about how much they hate that guy. I cannot repeat any of those to you guys here today. Oh my God. Zach has often complained about me and Gamer Zach talking about high school too much, and I got to apologize, man, because I get it now. I wouldn't want to remember high school either if I were you.
You want me to have Campbell, though?
But at least you've got a family of people here who love you. A Smash scene that I would say nobody has rights to lay claim more to than you. Though I do think it does say a little bit about your influence on the Smash scene, that maybe your biggest legacy is getting us all addicted to Smash the Pigs. Seriously though, you're the man. You're always looking out for me, you're always looking out for everybody else, so thank you for coming, thank you for your rose. And thank you to the other half of Team MSI, Raphael, and when I say other half, I mean other half. Zach got like 9th last week, and he still carries your ass in doubles. How bad are you? You play Sheik, it's like 2 buttons. It's actually crazy that we left Raphael at all in today. I feel like everyone just ignores that he is the most toxic smasher in the past 5 years of Saskatchewan Smash. I am not kidding. Well, I was going to make a joke up here about how Raph was going to come up to the mic. He told me before this. He was like, oh, I'm just going to come up and start lying about everybody. then he did.
10 years.
It's just par for the course with this lying bastard. I swear to God. This guy is the only person more toxic in our scene to new players than lots of something. Honestly, it's no surprise to me that Carter and Zach complain so much about you and your playstyle, despite basically never losing to you. Do you know how many of their $5 pot fillers you've turned away over the years with your campy little Sheik? Fuck, man. It's actually really funny that Mux is maybe best known or very well known for forestalking a child. It's funny because it's been a lot of the opposite lately with old Lincoln here. No, but seriously, you are one of the funniest, most positive people I know, and especially in the scene. I wouldn't trade a moment with you for everybody else, and so thank you for coming up here for your roast. And thank you for... Oh, and it's Mike's turn. Page 1. No, I'm kidding. A lot of people, Michael, it's good to see you at your first Regina tournament in years. I think it really says a lot about our friendship that you came to this one, the first tournament that I'm not running, and you came for the express purpose of shit-talking me. There was a second line there where I complained about him beating me in doubles, but...
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
You know, I'll be honest, a lot of people up here said the same thing. I had a lot of trouble roasting Michael. I don't know why. It's just hard to write roasts for him. And I think it's just because there's just so much. But at the same time, there are a lot of minors in the room, so I can't touch on any of that. Thank you to Zach for going into it. All that's left, really, is your hairline. And there's not much left there either. I'm just kidding, Michael. You know I love you. We've had some very special moments over these past years. It's really weird how much you tell your girlfriend about those moments, but I'm not going to read too much into that because I've seen you with Zach. I'm just going to say thank you. We'll always have that one warning.
Sorry I leaked it.
And last but not least, Dylan, my absolute biggest. I'm glad you were able to take time out of your very busy schedule to be here, and to every tournament in Saskatchewan for the last 8 years. I'm sure it's so tough to move all your obligations to make it. It's not a surprise that your roast was the longest one. We all know you have the most free time on your hands. You know, the thing I love about Dylan, and Mike was talking about this earlier, it's not good to punch down, and Dylan never punches down. But sometimes, his punching up is a little sad. He tries to be rivals with Cole in Smash. He beats him with, like, Dark Samus. They don't even play in winners finals anymore. It's winners semis now. It's going to be winners quarters after, like, give Sucky another month or so.
Yeah.
One time, he tried to start beef with MSI in Melee doubles. There's no other joke there. That's just hilarious. And also, he tried to be rivals with Morgan in Twitter followers. She's gotten her account suspended like 3 times. She's been in the Smash scene for 1 year, and she has 4 times as many followers as you. After you got botted. That's insane. Dylan's also got this rule. I'm surprised no one else has brought this up.
Oh, I should have.
I love this rule. And I don't know who knows about this, but he says that people are not allowed to be all of taller, more handsome, and better at Smash than him. And let's just say he's very lucky he's pretty tall. The other 2 are yikes. But seriously, Dylan, you are one of the best friends a guy can have. You've always had my back when I needed it, and I can only hope to be the same for you. So thank you for being here. And thank you to everybody else for coming. I told myself I wouldn't cry, and I won't. I don't care that much about you guys. It's mostly a side thing for me. But seriously, this community, all of you guys, everything you guys have done for me is like the greatest thing a guy could ask for. I wouldn't replace it for the world, so thank you for all coming here to this tournament. Thank you for continuing to support my successor, GamerZach, hopefully in the future, and I will see you all very soon, surely.
Okay, one last time for Pink Bombo.
Yeah.
One for Walker Rookie. Symbol. One for Easy. One for Mux. One for Spike Spike. And one big one for Paul.